What were your first impressions at LSE and where did you meet your friends? So the first impression that I got from LSE was that it's quite diverse and really international. That mattered to me personally because I came to the UK from abroad and I really didn't know what to expect here. But literally on my first day I met people from all around the world. For example, in my hall of residence, my neighbors, they were from the US, from India and from Finland. At LSE there's really a place for everyone, which was quite reassuring. And yeah, the halls of residence are also an amazing place to make friends. My two closest friends that I see almost every day, I met them in my first year in my halls. Which economics course have you enjoyed most and why? Behavioral economics, which is a third-year course, and it basically deals with instances where classic economic models don't perfectly align with what we actually observe in the real world. Because for the first 2 years of your degree, you'll see a lot of models, but most of them will be based on the assumption that agents in these models are perfectly rational. And it's fair to say that this is simply not always the case. And so in this course, we now ask questions like, how does addiction affect the behavior of people? Or what systematic mistakes do people make when thinking about their own future behavior? By incorporating the answers to these questions into the models we already know, we can really make the predictions of these models fit the real-world data much more closely. Highlights of your LSE economics journey. When I got accepted onto the exchange program to UC Berkeley, you get to branch out into new fields in terms of your academic interests. You will be experiencing a whole new university environment, which I think is amazing. The other thing that I would like to highlight here is the opportunity that I got from the department to be a student representative. And this basically involved meeting with professors and program managers and even the head of the department regularly in order to discuss any issues that the students might have brought up, because it really got me a completely new perspective on the professors and on the work that goes on in the background to deliver the program. What do you plan to do after LSE? For me, the industry that's most interesting is economics consulting, which is basically consulting but focusing on cases where specialist economics knowledge is needed to solve a problem. For example, providing evidence to a competition authority as to whether or not there was a monopoly going on in a certain market at a certain point in time. It has a lot of real-world relevance. You really get to use the tools that you learned during your degree. The LSE undergraduate degree really already gives me a really good basis to pursue this career. Pretty good.